Shri Radha Madhava ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Chanitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So, I guess speaking English, right? English? Yes. German? So you have to bear with me 1 hour more. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we continue reading. Okay, 14, yes. We continue reading from the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 7, the sacrifice performed by Daksha. Text 14. Vidya tapovrata. No, wait. Vidya tapovrata daran mukha hatsasma vipran. Pramatmat. No, is this Brahmasamhita? Vidya tapovrata daran mukha tasma vipran. Vidya tapovrata daran mukha tasma vipran. Pramatma tattvam avitum prataham tvam asrak. Pramatma tattvam avitum prataham tvam asrak. Tat brahmanan paramasarva vipatsupashi. Tat brahmanan paramasarva vipatsupasi. Pala pashun iva vipo parakrihita dandaha. Pala pashun iva vipo parakrihita dandaha. Vidya tapovrata daran mukhatasma vipran. Pramatma tattvam avitum pratamam tvam astrak. Tat brahmanan paramasarva vipatsupasi. Pala pashun iva vibo prakrihita dandaha. Okay, please chant. Vidya tapovrata daran mukhatasma vipran. Matachis, please. Vidya, learning. Tapaha, austerities. Vrata, vows. Dharan, the followers. Mukataha, from the mouth. Sma, was. Vipran, the Brahmanas. Brahma, Lord Brahma. Atma Tattvam, self-realization. Avitum, to disseminate. Pratamam, first. Tvam, you. Asrak, created. Tat, therefore. Brahmanan, the Brahmanas. Parama, O Great One. Sarva, all. Vipatsu, in dangers. Pasi, you protect. Palaha, like the protector. Pashun, the animals. Iva, like. Vibo, O Great One. Prakrihita, taking in hand. Dandaha, a stick. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear great and powerful Lord Shiva, you were created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma in order to protect the Brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self-realization. As protector of the Brahmanas, you always protect the regulative principles they follow. Just as a cowboy keeps a stick in his hand to give protection to the cows. Purport. One question. Anyone knows, because it says created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma? Maybe some scholars here who know, because I tried to research and there was no explanation, because it says Shiva was created by the mouth of Lord Brahma. If you have any answer to this, you can tell me later. I would really appreciate. Purport. The specific function of a human being in society, irrespective of his social status, is to practice control of the mind and senses by observing the regulative principles enjoined in the Vedic Shastras. Lord Shiva is called Pashupati because he protects the living entities in the developed consciousness so that they may follow the Vedic system of Varna and Ashrama. The word Pashu refers to the animal as well as to the human entity. It is stated here that Lord Shiva is always interested in protecting the animals and the animalistic living entities who are not very advanced in the spiritual sense. It is also stated that the Brahmanas are produced from the mouth of the Supreme Lord. We should always remember that Lord Shiva is being addressed as the representative of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. In the Vedic literature, it is described that the Brahmanas are born from the mouth of the universal form of Vishnu. The Kshatriyas are born from his arms, the Vaishyas from his abdomen or waist, and the Shudras from his legs. In the formation of a body, the head is the principal factor. The Brahmanas are born from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to accept charity for worship of Vishnu and to spread Vedic knowledge. Lord Shiva is known as Pashupati, the protector of the Brahmanas and other living entities. He protects them from the attacks of non-Brahmanas or uncultured persons who are against the self-realization process. Another feature of this word is that persons who are simply attached to the ritualistic portion of the Vedas and do not understand the situation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are not any more advanced than animals. In the beginning of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it is confirmed that even though one performs the rituals of the Vedas, if he does not develop a sense of Krishna consciousness, then all his labor in performing Vedic rituals is considered to be simply a waste of time. Shiva's aim in destroying the Daksha Yajna was to punish Daksha, because by neglecting him, Lord Shiva, Daksha was committing a great offense. Lord Shiva's punishment was just like that of a coward boy who keeps a stick to frighten his animals. It is commonly said that to give protection to animals, a stick is needed because animals cannot reason and argue. The reasoning and argument is argumentum ad baculum. Unless there is a rod, they do not obey. Force is required for the animalistic class of man, whereas those who are advanced are convinced by reasons, arguments, and scriptural authority. Persons who are simply attached to Vedic rituals without further advancement of devotional service or Krishna consciousness are almost like animals, and Lord Shiva is in charge of giving them protection and sometimes punishing them, as he punished Daksha. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gananchana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sva Padamtikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Vanchakalpa Darubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My dear great and powerful Lord Shiva, you were created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma in order to protect the Brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self-realization. As protector of the Brahmanas, you always protect the regulative principles they follow, just as a cowherd boy keeps a stick in his hand to give protection to the cows. Hare Krishna, everyone. Nice to see so many devotees. It was a long time, I think, that I last had the opportunity to speak. Kindly ask for your blessings that I can speak something of value and serve you nicely. Yes, I think it's the last chapter of this topic. No? Then we start with Dhruva Maharaj. And this prayers Lord Daksha to Lord Shiva after all these troubles and punishment he received. But what was actually kind of blessing at the end, because all of a sudden he could understand the position, the real position of Lord Shiva, and could offer him respects and obeisances and nice prayers, and got free from the illusion he was in. And Daksha is not an ordinary human being. We can't think less of him that we think he has a head of a goat and he doesn't know how to treat Vaishnavas and he's an offender and he's a low-class Brahmana, because it says in other verses he's a Brahma Bandhu, son of a Brahmana, not qualified to be a real Brahmana. But Daksha is, if you think about it, a very high elevated soul in this material universe, in comparison to us or to any other ruler of this planet Earth. Daksha is much, much higher, much, much more qualified. And for us, sometimes it's not easy to see who is a devotee, who is not a devotee. And later, I think in this chapter, or before also, it was already said that Daksha is also a great devotee of the Lord. Has a great service one of the Prajapatis. And sometimes we don't see who is a devotee, who is not a devotee. Like we have Bhishmadev, for example. Bhishmadev was fighting against the Pandavas, helped the Kuru dynasty, Duryodhan, to fight against Krishna and his associates, his devotees. You can also think, what about Bhishma? Is he a devotee? How can he be a devotee? And he fights against the devotees. But it was the Lord's pastimes. It was the Lord's pleasure to fight with Bhishma, a worthy opponent. Who else we have? What looks like a demon and actually turns out a devotee. Hiranyakashipu, the greatest of all demons. No? Ravana, Shishupal. Looked like the biggest of all demons, but actually he's one of the greatest devotees of the Lord. A giant Vijay of the spiritual world. Vaikuntha, planets. Because of the curse, they were seemingly playing the pastime of demons. But when we understand clearly that actually, no, they were very elevated souls. They had not a body like we have. They had a spiritual body, completely transcendental, always in the service of the Lord. And they even came here to serve the Lord in this way. If we tell now people outside of this movement about this story, it's sometimes very confusing when people come. And many years ago we had some Christians coming here and they ask us about all these paintings and the deity and the history and the pastime, why we worship a lion on the altar, and why is there this guy sitting and he has only bones and ants, and for them it's very demoniac. Or this small boy sits there and some demons coming and try to pinch him, and then Lord Nishingadev rips apart Hiranyakashipu and you see the intestines. They were they didn't know what's going on. So it's difficult to explain them, the whole story. So where to start? You tell them that it's the Lord's mercy. He came actually in this form to protect this dear devotee. But if you go even deeper, you explain them that this demon is also a devotee of the Lord. Then they get very confused. They can't grasp. It's not easy to comprehend for them. How can be a demon? Yesterday or 2 days ago, I was on Sankirtan in Freyung, 1 hour, and one Christian came and said, I know these books, Bhagavad Gita, and you're spreading the demon culture here. You will go to hell. 40 years ago I saw Jesus and he liberated me. And he was running around talking to himself the whole time, smoking cigarettes. And I said, yeah, thank you. I appreciate, but I would appreciate if you also appreciate the Bhagavad Gita, because did you read the Bhagavad Gita? No, one guy like you wanted to give it to me, and I will never touch it. I will never read it. It's demoniac. I said, I actually feel very offended. This is completely nonsense. How can you criticize my religion, my belief, my approach to God? I also respect your approach. But then you have to be careful. I started to become a little bit annoyed, and I told him, it's nonsense what you say. Jesus is the only way, he said. Johann 1.14 something verse. He said, you know the Bible? He said, a little bit. Then he said, okay, you know this verse, shloka, blah, blah. He tried to, tell me, and I said, no, I don't know this shloka. How can you say you know the Bible if you don't know this most famous shloka? That Jesus is the way, the light, how you say? Der Weg, das Licht, the light. I don't know. Nobody can come to the Father only through me, something like this. I said, but he never said he's the only way. He said it's the way, of course. It's in your teaching. He's your spiritual teacher. I don't accept Jesus is God, but he's a representative of God. And if you follow him, you become a good Christian, and you go back to God. I agree with that. But also, I have also a book here. It says completely something else. There's many teachers, not just one. But then also, it's like, the way I talk to him, do I offend him? Do I correct him in a nice way and humble way? Or correct him for my false ego? And then I also have to understand, actually, he's a devotee of the Lord. Maybe not in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, but still, he's a Christian, and we have to respect that, and we have to see he's also a soul. He's also the conscious being within. And he's just covered by the voice inside his head, the mind, telling him what to do, what to believe, all his samskaras, all his impressions, where he came from, where he took birth, previous lives. So he identifies himself with this body, as do I. But then we have to be very careful how to correct these people, how to correct these souls. If we do it in a nice mood and humble mood and tell him, like recently also now in the 4th canto again, and this also chapter about Lord Shiva, and Sati wants to go to the assembly of Lord Daksha, to the Yagya, and she talked to Shiva, and Shiva told her, actually I don't need to pay obeisances to Daksha because I'm always connected to the Lord, I always in samadhi, and then that's why I didn't stand up. And she said, he said, it's not my fault because samadhi is not my endeavor, it was the Lord's mercy that I was so absorbed in the Lord. And actually I'm so absorbed in the Lord, I always think about the super soul. I always pay obeisances to the super soul inside everyone's heart. So I don't need to pay obeisances to Daksha because I already obey obeisances to the super soul. So indirectly Lord Shiva paid his obeisances all the time, because he doesn't see the material covering the body of Daksha. He saw actually, no, he's a soul, he's part and parcel of the Lord. And he can perceive the super soul inside, Antakarana. And so for us when we read this, okay, like we don't need to pay obeisances because I chant Hare Krishna, no. Also when we pay obeisances, we should have this mood, this attitude, hey, this is super soul inside his heart, maybe even Radha Krishna inside his heart and performing the pastimes. We never know which devotee sits here in front of us, how elevated souls. We never know their previous lives, or what they did in this life even, or how they are really dedicated and connected to the Lord. When I come here now after a week or 2 weeks, then everyone pays obeisances, it's so nice. But if you live here in the temple, then you only pay obeisances in the morning when we offer our respects to all the devotees. Sometimes. Shri Prabhu Nishingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. But it's nice and I really appreciate. When I lived in South Africa, like nobody pays obeisances. It's just like, hey Prabhu, how are you? Vanchas, and you give a hug. And and then I started paying obeisances, and then one guy came, wow, you're so advanced, you pay obeisances to the devotees. He was really bewildered, I was new, I didn't know how it's going on there, but everyone I saw, I paid my obeisances, and for them was like, okay, come down, it's like enough. It was too much for them to bow down. But actually, it's such a nice workout, to bow down and offer your respect, and because you understand, hey, it's the super soul inside and the soul, very dear to Krishna, very special beings. I mean, devotees, you don't go out on the street and pay obeisances to the karmis, obviously. But, when you see devotees, we should be happy to offer them respect. And this will help us to get free from our false identification, from the ego, from the mind, that we think, my body, my country, I'm male, I'm this, I'm that, I have children, I work this and this. And actually, everything we believe, everything we think we are, it's just an illusion. Because who are you when I ask, think about it. Okay, we know, we say we're not the body, because I don't say I finger, I hand, I head, I body. It's very easy, or I can explain everyone. So you say my body, my head, my finger. So very, very simple. You can ask someone, okay, then who are you? Tell me. Are you inside there, or where are you actually? Then they think about it. Everyone can understand very easily. Then, who are you? Ke ami? Big question. Who are we? I think it's the most important question to ask ourselves all the time. Who are we? Because we hear it so many times. We're not the body. We're not the mind. But as soon we're a little bit sick, as soon as we get a little bit disturbed, somebody argues with us, somebody tells us something we don't like, chastises us, corrects us, or the prasadam was not warm enough. How dare you? You didn't heat it up, the prasadam. Can't eat it. So easily we get in our mind, in our body. Because we think we are this body actually. And to understand that we are not the body, it's a very elevated platform actually. We don't identify with this body anymore. And we try to maintain the body. We try to do everything that we are healthy and energized and be full of enthusiasm that we can serve the Lord nicely. But more than that, okay, maybe at one point we understand we are not this body. Then we stop eating, we stop sleeping, and we get completely sick. No, it's also not good. You should understand it's the Lord's body. We put tilak on the body every day. To understand it's the temple of the Lord, the temple of the super soul, temple of the soul. Amazing, no? This is what makes us different from animals or animalistic human beings. And you can see when you go out on the street, when you go somewhere to shop, how how they behave, like animals, no? It's like even difficult to see humans there. Sometimes they have some nice qualities, but most of the time, yeah. I mean, I met many nice people recently, and they all have a good heart, and they also, I see them as a being, as a soul. But like 2 days ago, they had like just they eat something, they grill something with onions. Our whole flat was stinking for 2 days, like really completely like onions. And it was just tamasik. I mean, what to speak about the grill every weekend, just meat. And our house smells like meat, we have to close all the windows if they don't tell us. We're screwed for one day, It's like really, I lit 10 incense this day and it didn't came out. Even though my incense are the best. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but it goes much further, the 4 regulative principles. For animals, they don't have regulative principles. Their principles are, I'm hungry, I need to eat. I'm stronger, this is my bait. How you say bait? Bait, pray, bait. Yeah, bait, like pray. I don't know. And they go for it. They are tired, they sleep. It's so easy. They don't need to work, they don't need any money, they don't need a house. It's much nicer to be an animal actually when you want to enjoy sex life and eat. No? Don't need to endeavor like people, they're working 24 hours a day, sleeping a few hours, and just to maintain their body so that they can earn some money, so that they can eat something to maintain the body, to go to work. When I was young, I couldn't deal with money properly, so I always woke up late, and then I went with the bus to my work, and sometimes I missed the bus, I went by taxi, and I always ate out every day, and almost half of the income I got, I spent only to go to work and to eat something at work. The little income you have for something else, but it makes no sense actually to live a normal life. It's just to survive. Be actually an animal. It's no difference to an animal. Just to survive the day, to survive the month, to not get eaten up, to not freeze when it's cold. We're animals. But what is the difference between animals and us? What do you think? Huh? You can hear about God. Wow, yeah. But you can also hear. And why can you understand? Huh? Intelligence, yeah. I mean, animal, I don't know how much intelligence they have, but a little bit you can differentiate. Okay, this is dangerous, maybe I shouldn't go there. There's a tiger, I'm just a mouse, maybe. It's also their intelligence tells them, their instinct. Yeah, that's true. And why can we realize that? Free will. What is the free will? See? Who is realizing that Krishna is God? Our consciousness, yes. They have also consciousness. They are spiritual being inside, a soul. But what makes us different is that we perceive through our consciousness. We're the observer of our reality. Also, animal is the observer of the reality. Like when you see with your eyes, actually you don't see with the eyes. The eyes is just like a camera, zooming in, zooming out, and seeing all the colors, reflecting the light from the sun. But who sees inside? It's not the eyes, it's the consciousness. If I would think like this table is not there and the cushions are not there. I still see all of you. At one point, maybe I just look and I don't see anything of you. You're all gone. Would be a little bit weird and I sit alone here and speak. But then if I close my eyes and nothing else remains, like everything is gone, but then still something remains, no? My awareness, my consciousness. And if I try to put the awareness away, it's not possible. Like, okay, there's no consciousness, I'm nothing. It doesn't work out. So we are the conscious being inside. But because our senses now in this material form are sick, it's like last 2 days I feel a little bit like groggy and not so well, and I can feel like when I taste something, eat something, it tastes different, because I'm not fully, my tongue, my sense of taste is not fully proper, normal. Or when you're really sick and you have fever, you hear something very loud, or someone writes on the blackboard and you can't hear it, or even if you come to kirtan and it's so loud, the gongs and the bells, and if someone with 40 degrees fever would be before in the kirtan, he would probably die, Yeah. Or if you see, it's difficult to see when you're sick, everything is like too bright, it's like hurts, you get headache. Smell, can't smell properly and everything smells awful and weird. This is when you're sick. But now it's the same, because our spiritual senses are not developed. We also don't see, we also don't hear properly. If we would hear properly the holy name, the message of Lord Krishna, then we would be so in ecstasy and enthusiastic and inspired that we only want to serve, we only want to chant, we want to tell everyone about Krishna. Because we're intoxicated by the Lord's message, by the Lord's holy name. Or if you taste prasadam with your tongue purified, and then you taste the remnants, the khichdi of Lord Nrsingadev, and then it touches your tongue and you break out in tears because you realize it's the remnants, the mercy of the Lord. Imagine that, wow. Or you see Lord Nrsingadev and you can finally see him and he's like, yeah, finally, he made it. like we speak about having darshan, but most of the time we stand here and I don't know what I saw today, most beautiful, because if you don't be here for some time, you come, there's some special mercy, then the Lord is more present. But if you live here every day, I remember then many times I just stand here and look at the Lord and I don't even remember which outfit he had or... Yes. Do you remember which color he wears today? How was the turban looking like today? There's no turban. Because he looked... yeah. But our senses are always occupied with this material world. We're looking for pleasure to enjoy the senses in the material world. And we need the senses, otherwise we can't see anything, no? We can't hear anything. So it's part of us. We need this body. Now we have this human form, so yeah, it's important. But the senses are not properly engaged. We don't serve Rishikesha. Astave Savupadi Vinirmuktam Tat Padatvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchyate. So only when we really engage our senses in the service of Rishikesh, then our senses will be purified. Then only we can understand the Lord, understand ourselves. And there's two side effects when we serve the Lord, when our senses are purified. Yeah, that our senses, one is the senses will be pure, and we can perform pure devotional service, and the other is that we get free from the upadis, the designations. Savupadi, Vinimuktam, to get free from all the false identification. Because why can't we be Krishna conscious now, fully engaged in the service of the Lord, full of bliss, full of happiness and ecstasy? Just with a conversation recently from Prabhupada, he said, because the heart is not open, and because the heart is not open because we can't see Krishna in our heart. And only if you can see Krishna, when you understand he's in our heart and in the hearts of everyone. Like Adipurusha always makes this, Prabhu makes always this in Bhakti Shastri. He says, okay, now look at each other and imagine Krishna is in his heart. And then everyone looks, you can try this now if you like. Look at each other and think about the Krishna, the super soul in the heart. And everyone is smiling automatically. Yeah. Heart is opening, everyone is happy, and it's so easy, no? Imagine you can see this every day, that Krishna is there. Or you understand yourself, Krishna is here. Then when some thoughts coming, some desires, some old habits, some samskaras, some anatas. Then immediately you connect, no, Krishna is here. And then you pray to the Super Soul. And then you serve him, you chant the holy name, you take shelter. And then we can overcome all these things. For us it's even difficult to overcome the weather. No? Like, oh my God, today I want to go for a run, and then I go swimming, and then I go for a nice chopper walk, and then we have prasada and pizza feast. And then all of a sudden it starts to storm and to rain. And then you mental the whole day, oh God, the whole day is over, and my Krishna consciousness sucks. I wanted to have pizza today, and I can't do my chopper walk to the lake because I didn't went to morning program. I planned my whole day to chant there, and what should I do now? And you just lament instead of maybe being happy. Tribanga outside in the garden, it was 2 weeks, 40 degrees. He's happy. Finally, there's rain. The vegetables can grow that we can offer to the Lord. Instead, focusing on the positive, we immediately, we have desires and lament, and because we're not on the Brahma Bhuta platform, we not understand that we are not the body, that we are not the mind, that we are actually the soul within. We're having a human experience at the moment. And then the next day it's so hot, you can't even sleep, you can't eat because you're not hungry, you sweat the whole day, you have to shower for 5 times. Then you also complain. So even the weather, when it's not to our needs, we already are in the bodily platform, the mind. We try to control the whole world outside. And we don't understand life is going on without us. The globe, if it's a globe, it's spinning by itself. We can't control life, we can't control Krishna. We can't control the circumstances outside. But what we can control is our body, our mind, by engaging it in the devotional service of the Lord. It's so simple actually. Whenever we have a problem, what we're going to do, we listen to our mind. Like example, driving license, okay? I have driving school in today's test, and then my mind goes since 1 week, okay, what if I miss the stop sign? What if I go over red? What if I don't look over my shoulder? What if I do this? Like whole time I meditate about what I can do wrong, And we do this all the time with everything in our life. Oh, he didn't call me today. Maybe he doesn't like me anymore. I'm sure I offended him. I don't know. And then, you project the whole reality you create in your mind. But how many things of what you create in your mind really happened in your life? How many times there's like a big world war or like a big pandemic? It's not happened every day, But people are afraid, or how many airplanes will fall from the heaven, People are afraid, like, oh God, my husband he flies tomorrow to Mexico, and what if he dies? What if the airplane crashes? And you think and you think. And the whole day, with everything you do, with everything, non-stop, there's a voice in our head telling us what to believe, what to do, everything, the whole time. It's like having a roommate at home, and he's talking. Imagine you take your mind out now, and you sit your mind here, and it just talks to you the whole day. Must be annoying, like, tells you the whole time, don't do this, go about that, enjoy this, and why don't you do that? Oh, maybe he doesn't like me, and you have to be afraid now. It's like, and the mind, what is the mind? It's just a reflection of all the impressions we got from previous lives and from our childhood, our likes and our dislikes, and then it creates the reality. And then, okay, you like this way, you go there. You like this restaurant, you go there. You like blonde hair girls, then you go for the blonde hair girls. You had bad experience with the black hair girls. Sorry for the brahmacharis, but you get the point. Then you avoid, these black hair girls. If anything we do, we always take our, what we perceived, what we experienced. Was it good, was it bad? And then our whole life turns around. We have bad experience with rain. All of us, we know we don't like so much rain because you have to stay indoors. But in India, sometimes it's nice if there's rainy season after the hot summer, no? It's a great, beautiful raining season in India. Because our mind has likes and dislikes, and every one of us is completely different. But as long as we see this world with our mind, with the voice inside, telling us the whole time, do this, do that, do this, do that, it's really difficult to find Krishna inside. And that's why we have to practice. We have to engage our senses in the service of the Lord. Control the tongue, the belly, the genitals, vacha vegam, manasukroda vegam, chiva vegam, udara pasta vegam, ithan vegam, Vishahetatira Savam Apimam Pritivim Sashishyat. And this is what we should do, that we become pure devotees. Control our speech. You always want to blah, blah, blah. I know for myself, I like to talk. We like to enjoy our own voice. It's like annoying. But I realize when I talk less, my wife knows. Like I read something, wow, this is amazing, and I have to share everything and tell. But if I have some days where I'm calm and I don't talk so much, there's so much energy in words. Bruce Lee, Acharya, no, Bruce Lee said, it's like, be careful how you talk about yourself even. Be careful what you talk, but also what you talk about yourself. Because words are like spells. That's what we call it, spelling. It's like you cast spells on yourself. Talk about bad about yourself, about others. Prachalpa, you talk, God, this Prabhu today, I didn't like the way he was singing, he didn't clean the temple, and you just complain. There's a few devotees here, and I realized when we talk about someone else, some topic comes up, they just stand up and go out. And it was always like, wow, this really, like they don't want to hear any criticism against devotees. They don't want to engage in prachalpa, because all our energy goes away. Or if you did nice service, you cooked for many people, everyone was satisfied, or you did hundreds of books, and you tell everyone, hey, yesterday I did 100 books, it was so great. All the benefit will go away, because your tongue wants to speak. You want to enjoy already the results. But the results are for Krishna. But we always want to be in the center, we want to enjoy. So everything starts with the tongue, with the demands of the mind, like we said before. And the mind, the senses perceive, and the mind demands. And it's so difficult for a smoker, for example, to quit smoking. Even though he reads on all the cigarette packets, smoking will kill you, smoking will kill you. And you see all these legs and with all this, I can't remember this, how you say, Raucherbein, like a smoke leg, you say, and then it's like black and it's holes, and you can see their lungs, it looks terrible, you know. And then people still smoking, even though they know it's not good. Then they try to stop, but it's not possible. Because they think about it, they meditate about it, it doesn't come out of their head. It's so difficult to stop smoking, something so simple actually. Or to stop sugar, if you want to have a sugar diet. Some devotees do sometimes. It's difficult. You're so addicted to sugar. The mind. Or in the morning, who of you will eat a lot of halava today? Or sweet rice, if there's enough. Even though we know it's maybe not the best breakfast to eat so much halava in the morning. I remember a few years ago we had like really big halava like in the morning, and then everyone has a big plate full of halava. And after, oh, I'm so full. Can't suffer the whole day. Some people can digest it and there's no problem, then it's fine. But the mind, the tongue is so needy, needs so many things. And anger. Anger, like even you control your mind, you're like a yogi, you're meditating. Come out of your meditation. I do this sometimes, it's nice. Then I chant Hare Krishna. I realize then I get bored and then, okay, I feel like now I need to chant. No, but it's nice, you can really, because it's makes the mind calm, do some pranayama, yoga, and then go deep, and then you connect, and then you chant, and it's powerful, it's really powerful. But then sometimes I sit here and I can really feel like Krishna wants me to chant now, And, people who have no holy name, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, if you just practice yoga and meditation and pranayama, and you don't engage in devotional service, it will bring you will fall down, you will go into in impersonalism. And you will want to go away from everyone and just want to go in the forest and do your thing. And let's say, okay, I'm not a devotee now, I'm just meditating. No Krishna in my heart, not telling me to chant. Then I wake up and life feels nice. I'm really calm and by myself, the mind is calm, the heart is open, everything is wonderful. And then somebody calls me, hey, can you come quickly, I need your help. And wow, and all of a sudden my whole world breaks down and I was like, what the hell, why is he calling me now? I'm in such a nice mood. Come on, this guy is so annoying. Because it happens, even in Mahabharata, if you read in Bhagavatam, all the great saints sometimes, they get annoyed. Easily they get angry or meditating, and then fully absorbed, and then when nice damsels from the heavenly planets walks by, and he's like, wow, look at her. It's difficult. And that's the thing, if we just, even if we're completely calm and fine, or we chant, we have a wonderful morning program, we chant Hare Krishna, even if we are devotees, and then somebody shouts, where are the ladus? We talked last time. Where's the sandesh? Who stole it? And then everyone in the temple is like, and then big fight. No, I didn't do it. You did it. because it's so easily to follow, our mind, the anger. You can't make advancement like this. It's really difficult. But Krishna will take it away slowly. If you're sincere, if he sees in our heart, hey, I'm ready, I really want to go deep. What's the time now? Is it 8:45? No? Because I need to cook now, I have to stop. Yes, and to control the tongue, the belly, the genitals, they are aligned. We know when we eat too much, goes all in the belly, all the pressure goes to the genitals, and for brahmachari, very difficult. Don't overeat, only on Sundays. Today, you can overeat. I cook, by the way. You're allowed to eat a lot today. No, it's prasadam with devotees, but we should be careful. We know from our own experience, if you eat too much, it always backfires. Not always, but most of the time, you get tired and tamaguna comes. And if you want to, like, it's a spiritual master of the whole world. I mean, I don't want to be a spiritual master of the whole world. Maybe if Krishna wants, but I want to be at least, at one point, become pure and be a devotee and follow the instruction of Prabhupada and the Lord. And then we have to just follow the simple principles. Control our speech, our anger, our mind. But you can't control it like, okay, I control my anger now, I control my mind. You tell your mind, okay, now my mind is control. Yeah. Then you open your heart. Heart is open. How you want to open your heart? Subal, open your heart now. Show me. Open it. You have to open it. Open your heart chakra, do it. Anahata chakra, open it now. It's difficult, no? But what if I say, don't close, when you have now big festival, Kirtan, we had just Kirtan Mela now, it was so ecstatic for 1 week, I couldn't sleep. I was like yeah. No, really, I was like, could hear Adi Rasa singing still. Kirtan was at home, I was still dancing, really like powerful, like wow. And even though like my daughter had an accident, it was like terrible. Like I wanted to say the best festival ever, and then happened this accident. But still somehow the holy name was so present, it was, difficult. We went to hospital and everything, but still was, terrible situation materially, but still the holy name was so powerful. Like, there would be a good place where you say, okay, now stay open. But we have experiences in our life where we really have joy and even materially. Doesn't mean always like the highest ecstasy in devotional service. But sometimes something material, the childbirth, or I don't know, whatever you experienced on a material platform, or some good food, or some journey, or some nice day, something said something nice to you, and immediately you open up. And when you close, you notice you lament, you're depressed, everything is annoying, and like my girlfriend broke up with me, and she doesn't like me anymore, and my life, okay, and then Subal visits me, and he sees like I have like tons of pizza ordered by Kamis, and I'm completely depressed, playing computer games the whole day, and don't know what to do with my life, And then all of a sudden my phone rings, and then my ex-girlfriend calls me, and she says, oh my God, I made a big mistake, I want to come back to you, and I love you, and I was like, oh my God, she loves me, and all of a sudden I'm happy, and everything is fine, I'm enthusiastic, and I clean the whole house, and she comes, and somebody's like, what the hell is going on? He was just so depressed. Just on a material platform, if the heart opens, you get energy, you get enthusiasm, enthos means inspired by God, then everything is possible all of a sudden. And then we need to learn to not close. And this is the difficult thing. Actually, it's very easy, because just tell yourself, and then something bad happens, and then I want to stay in this. We experience it all the time to be happy. But then we close, and how we close? With our tongue, we speak bad about someone. He does something to us, we get angry, anger, the mind, the demands of the mind. We can't control our senses, we follow our desires. And then we do stupid things, we say stupid things, we hurt other people, offend other people. Immediately, everything is closed. But actually, now we just need to learn how to stay open all the time. That's the key. And then we just chant and do more service and hear more and be there for people and serve each other and having loving relationships with each other. Otherwise, there's no way back to Krishna. How we can go back to spiritual world if we don't know how to deal with each other. Of course, before we go back to Gokula and get a training, proper training, as a cowherd boy or gopi. But now for us, we start here with us, how to deal with each other. Don't speak bad about other devotees. Why? Why should we speak bad about other devotees? Or just, sometimes you think, I said something and he didn't get it in the wrong way. And then you think the whole day, he didn't understand what I wanted to say, and I don't know, he doesn't like me. I think that's why he did it. You just make assumptions of devotees, of people. And your mind again creates the reality, how it should be, what's going on. But what is really going on, you don't know. You're not Krishna, you're not a super soul. You're Atma, you're not Paramatma. You only know about yourself, you don't know about other people. And then we go in this trap again, and then we close, and then you see the temple president, no, he looked at me weird, okay. And then every time you see him, you think he has something against you. But did you ask him, will you ask him, hey Prabhu, is there something wrong, I did something wrong? And he said, no, everything is fine, I don't know, it's just this one thing, no, forget it, come on, let's give a hug. And then everything is fine, everything is open, you're blissful and happy. Because the mind, the voice inside tells us again and again, no, he doesn't like me, this is good for me, this is bad for me. And we need to stop listening to this voice and understand that actually we, the witness, we, the consciousness inside, seeing this reality, seeing, like it says, there's two birds inside, you know, and Anumanta Upadrashta, Krishna is the perceiver, the witness, and the one who gives allowance to perform something. And we are the one who enjoys. But also, we are also perceive actually everything. We only have the desire. But most of the time it comes from the mind. But we are not the mind. But we all the time, we hear constantly, today try it out for just this one day, if you can, otherwise you will freak out maybe. No, but just realize everything what goes on, like you cut the vegetables, and all of a sudden you think about everything you do in the next few days, and you always think about the future. There's no future. Future is just an illusion. As soon as there's the future, we talk about the next festival, Govardhan Puja. Then we experience Govardhan Puja, we think already about the next festival. We can't be in the moment. Krishna is only in this moment. The past happened, but it's just an impression. The future is just an illusion, just in your mind. You don't know anything what will happen in your life or in other people's lives. So only what matters is to be in the moment, as much Krishna conscious as we can be. As much, yeah. And when the mind comes, just try for yourself, just distance yourself. It's difficult because to be objective, because the mind is so close to you. It's like the roommate inside. But also Paramatma is here. And if he sees your endeavor, hey, this is just a chat of the mind. Yeah, then all the vrittis, and then you just, okay, step back. And when you chant, best example, when you chant, the most, I say, distance between Krishna and me is when I chant Japa mostly, no? Chant Hare Krishna, and then you think about anything else other than Krishna. But it's the best time to practice this. The mind comes, and then sometimes it's good to just sit down and take a breath, like, and then everything is good, everything is fine, and then you continue chanting. Just take yourself back. It's not you. And we always hear this, I mean, you're not the mind, you know, it's so like, you're not the mind, you're not the body, you're not the mind. Prabhu, you're mental, it's just your mind, you know. You can't hear it anymore. Like, I know I'm mental, leave me alone, you know. Doesn't help me, huh? But really think about it, it's just our mind. It's really just our mind. It's nothing else. All the problems we have, if it's raining or sun, it's the same principle. We try to adjust the whole world, but we can't. But you can adjust your inner, mood, or how you act with the world, how you feel. You can always be happy and positive. It's nothing, even if everyone dies around us, if there's like World War III now people talking, so what? Okay, it's sad and we pray for them, but still we can be blissful and happy. We chant Hare Krishna. Nothing stops you, only your own mind. Like Navinanirada Prabhu always says, Sankirtan, don't let anyone discourage you, not even your own mind. Okay, Hare Krishna, maybe questions or comment or some reflections. Everything clear now?
Hare Krishna, thank you for the lecture.
Hare Krishna.
Just about this, that the future is an illusion. Is it because the soul has no beginning, no end, no future? That's why we only perceive it's the eternal quality that you're talking about? But like, do you know what I'm?
I know what you want to say, but I also have no answer. It's like this, but was just coming out of me. Don't know.
Okay.
But it's like my understanding, my feeling. There is no past, no future, because we are eternal. We're spiritual soul in the spiritual world. There's no understanding of time like we do. And what I wanted to express was more that we have a future picture what we want to experience in order to be happy. We always make the experience in the outside. Okay, the next festival then can be happy. No, you can be happy right now. You know, and then the future comes. Like recently we went to holiday to Croatia, and then I discovered it's so nice again to be on a beach and chant and read the whole day. And I want to do this every year. And when I was in this whole week I was there, I was thinking about where I go next year and which beaches on the world I checked online I can go, you know, for holiday, sorry to say. But yeah, and then I just realized, you know, I read a book and then I realized, oh my God, I can't even enjoy the moment. I'm already in the future again. You know? We always jump, the mind jumps again. We're never satisfied. It's like ongoing fire of desires. And we're putting more and more oil inside, more and more ghee. But if we step back, we're in the moment now, we're focusing on our duty, on our service. Or one time I was like cleaning here and then I broke all the plates. There was some like porcelain plates, now we have these metal plates. And I listened to lecture, my old temp president said, what are you doing? I said, I'm cleaning. I said, why listen lecture, you know? I said, yeah, I want to listen, but you break all the plates, you don't do proper service, you know. So if you can't focus on your service, then don't listen lecture. Be in the now, be bhakti, you know, do your best you can. You know. I'm not saying don't listen lecture, always listen lecture when I do service, but you know, sometimes it distracts you and you don't do your service properly, because it's so difficult for us to just be in the moment and clean this temple room, like really focus on each corner. And it's really amazing. Or when you do Shalagram, Shila Puja in the morning, it's sometimes, mostly I listen to lectures, you know, but I can't really focus on the mantras then and on Krishna. And the Manasa Puja, okay, I focus, I turn off the lecture, but if I don't listen to any lecture and just focus on the puja, it's like ecstatic, like you go really deep, it's a meditation. Anyways, I don't know if this helps, but answers your question. But we always jump in the future. We live in the future, actually. And we are creating the future by our past experiences. Yeah.
Like a story, not a story, it's like a simulation that Kadama Kanan Maharaj used to often recite. Like you're sitting in a prasad row and they are serving prasad. So the first comes the rice and you start eating the rice and you're looking at the line where the prasad distributors, you're looking where are they now? Oh, the dal is coming. So you start waiting for the dal and then you take the dal and then you see the line in front of you, they took sabji but you didn't take sabji. So you're the whole time anxious looking at those who are serving prasad. Oh, sabji, sabji. And then the sabji comes, the second sabji, pakoras, chapatis, and then the sweets, the halwa. And you finish your prasada. Maharaj says you finish your prasada and you didn't even start.
Yeah,
like your whole plate is finished, but you didn't really start honoring prasad because your consciousness is the whole time about what's coming next, what's coming next.
But it's a difficult one. I mean, obviously, if you don't get, you know, then every one of us will suffer. You know? You can be me in the moment, but you know, if I hate it when I sit here and then festival and then you get the rice, 5 minutes later you get the dal, and then you get some sabji at the end, and then everything is like finished. And yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's difficult to. How do? A good example. Yeah. There's something example he gives also about Paradise Lane. I can't remember fully. Then you go. The man goes to the woman and brings the roses, and he's in Paradise Lane, and he rings at the bell, and then one other man opens the door, and he's like what's going on? And then he realizes, you know, she already has a boyfriend, and I was not interested in you. And then Paradise Lane becomes hell for you, you know. Something like this. I don't know exactly, but anyways, yeah. One more question. I have to go. Sorry. Yeah.
Who is it?
Madhuri Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Peter Simha, Prabhu, please
Hare
accept
Krishna.
my humble obeisance. Thank you very much for your very helpful explanations. How can I have an open-hearted relationship with a senior devotee? Also when a senior devotee, for instance, corrects me, and I don't know how to behave correctly. I only know that I'm only in the humble position, and I'm not so mature that I can relate to a senior devotee on a level which is maybe proper or according etiquette, and then I go a little into the position to avoid the contact with the person. Also how can I remain an open-hearted relationship with in such a situation?
Yes, good question. Thank you. One thing is, like, we don't need to love everyone, you know. Sometimes you don't agree, you disagree with some devotees, or you had some bad experience, management, but you're respectful, like you be respectful, but you keep your distance. We can choose our association. But if you want to have, of course, a relationship to him, then you have to do some endeavor. But it's not that I have to have with every devotee like a very close relationship. It also doesn't work. Some are seniors, some are juniors, some are completely different mood and understanding, different vana, and there's so many factors. But I can give you one example. I have my driving school teacher, for example. He's like, Björn is not here, but he's really heavy. Like sometimes he really shouts, like, I get really like, okay, what's going on? And I'm cool and try to, but at one point I got really, like my wife said, why don't you change, go somewhere else? But then I started my whole meditation, like I thought like, okay, actually he's my guru. He teach me driving. So I see him as my senior. And then I start praying to him before I went to school. And the last few times, it was really nice. He still corrected me, but all of a sudden, I don't know, it was different. I could accept it and my whole mood changed. So sometimes it helps to be humble and to see them as our teachers. We can learn something from them and pray to them and insight to the work. This really helped with the driving teacher. He can be really harsh, but now it's all of a sudden nice. Everything changed. But yeah, it's not any case. You can't make now a rule of this. I'm not also expert in how to deal with devotees. But what do you think?
Yeah, no, for me it's always a difficult situation. I'm maybe from age senior, but not from experience in Krishna consciousness because I came so late. Ne? And then to accept this always as Krishna's mercy, ne? And that I maybe not expect that I'm on the same heart vibration with everyone, even in the same community, ne? And that I try to find out what is the lecture for me, which Krishna wants give to me. And to see this person as my spiritual master also. Thank you.
I think when we are very advanced and then we see everyone as more elevated and spiritual master and we see Krishna in every word. But also for now, I have also preferences. I listen more to this devotee or online. I can choose so many lectures and I only listen to one or two lectures I like, and then the other ones I don't listen so much because it not reflects my mood. Or I don't have so much connection when they come, some swamis, but I still respect them and want to hear from them. But it's not like, okay, this is my guru now, my Shiksha guru. Everyone has different moods. We have so many varieties and so many gurus and senior devotees, so you can, whatever relates to you, what is your vibration.
Thank you very, very much.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Grantara, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Ki Chai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Ki Chai, Shri Prabhupada, Ki Chai.